The place you want to go. Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Baseball is a long season. Some call it a labor.
Okay, just remember to keep breathing.
But here in Milwaukee, we call it a labor of love.
Here.
I'm screaming.
White.
Ah!
Fly ball to deep right. It is back. Soto back. Out of here!
It's the Brewers clashing with the Phillies in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 2:35 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm gone.
At 10:01, it's 55 degrees. Today, partly cloudy, breezy, and cool with a high of 65. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Tiff Pua. A death investigation continues in West Dallas near a busy construction zone.
The call for service initially coming in around 6:15 Thursday morning near South 96th and West Lincoln, just north of a busy construction area in West Dallas. Police scanner audio indicating the death may have been the result of a medical emergency.
Cardiac arrest, not breathing, West Lincoln Avenue.
Outside an apartment complex nearby, a woman of unknown relation to the victim breaking down in the middle of the street, being consoled by West Dallas police. At South 96th and Grant, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A man found guilty of murdering and dismembering a 19-year-old woman after a first date in Milwaukee returns to court today. Maxwell Anderson was found guilty earlier this summer of killing Sade Robinson, then scattering her body parts across Milwaukee County in April of last year. Today, a judge could determine how much money Anderson must repay the Robinson family. Prosecutors are demanding Anderson pay $36,000 to cover Robinson's funeral costs. Anderson is serving life in prison without the possibility of parole. No prison time for hotel workers charged in the death of Devontae Mitchell outside a downtown Milwaukee hotel last year.
The state's perspective on this case has always been that Mr. Erickson is the most culpable.
Despite that recommendation, the judge ordered only probation for security guards Todd Erickson and Brandon Turner. He gave no jail time or probation to bellhop Herbert Williamson and front desk assistant Devin Johnson Carson. Devontae Mitchell's wife, Deasia Harmon.
It is disheartening and it's disappointing. Basically, everyone here today is getting away with murder.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The Trump administration is moving forward with its Supreme Court appeal to keep in place most of the tariffs the president has put on imports to the U.S. ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
The administration's petition to the High Court warns that extraordinary threats to the country are at issue in the case, and that last week's appeals court decision against most of the tariffs has disrupted highly impactful, sensitive, ongoing trade talks. Two lower courts have now found that the president had no legal authority to impose those tariffs on his own. But the administration claims the moves were needed to fix trade imbalances that had brought the U.S. to the brink of a major economic and national security catastrophe.
The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit left the tariffs in place for now. And happening right now, U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is testifying before a congressional committee where he faces questions about turmoil at federal health agencies. The U.S. Senate Finance Committee called Kennedy to a hearing about his plans to, quote, make America healthy again. But at issue are layoffs and planned budget cuts that detractors say are wrecking the nation's ability to prevent disease. Time for news about your money. Here's your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green this morning. Your Dow is up 121 points to 45,393. The S&P 500 is up 19 points to 6,467. And the NASDAQ is up 59 points to 21,557. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 10:04.
Enjoy unbeatable deals on clothing and more this week at Fleet Farm. Get a $25 gift card free with a $100 purchase of select denim jeans. For snackers, select bags of our whole cashews and deluxe mixed nuts are 2 for $12. And 40-pound bags of KT Basic Blend Wild Bird Food are on sale for just $14.99. Get these specials and more at your local Fleet Farm. And check out all our weekly deals at fleetfarm.com. Selection varies by store. Some exclusions apply.
Don't miss Ringo Starr and his all-star band coming to the Miller High Life Theater on Friday, September 12th. the legend has been one of the world's brightest luminaries since the beginning of the Beatles' reign over pop culture. His warmth and humor are enchanting and contagious, manifesting in songs we know and love. Don't miss out on seeing this musical icon live. Tickets are on sale now at papstheatergroup.com or tune in to What's on Tap with Sandy Max on September 10th and 11th for your chance to win.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here, talking about that nagging joint pain. You know the one I mean. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Other times it's just an old injury that just never healed right. You don't even remember when it happened. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long. But that stops now with QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics can flip the script. It uses regenerative medicine that can help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints. Doesn't cover it up, doesn't cut it out. It actually helps heal and restore. And the results? Long-term lasting relief. So instead of planning your day around pain, you're planning it around the life you want to live. You're walking the dog without stopping. You're playing ball with your kid until they get tired, not until your knee tells you you're done. QC Kinetics. No surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Call 414-285-3474 for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Time for a WTMJ Sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers win 6-3 in Game 2 of their series against the Phillies. Christian Yelich was scratched from Wednesday's starting lineup 30 minutes before the game with lower back soreness. Manager Pat Murphy.
He hasn't been out all year. He played all those games. He's really been super healthy for us and super critical, but it didn't respond well. It's come on a little bit.
The crew will wrap up their series with the Phillies this afternoon at American Family Field. Coverage starts at 2:35 right here on WTMJ. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Just one incident to report. 94 West, a little over a half mile beyond the ramp from Highway 100. Right shoulder's blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Now, all the cameras are off, which means that the accident is probably bigger than I'm getting here on the report. So make sure to stay safe out there, everyone. Traffic is sponsored by Flanner's Home Entertainment. Flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanner's Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners. Just press play.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast today. Partly cloudy, breezy, and cool with a high of 65. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and windy, a low of 53. For your Friday, windy and partly cloudy, a high of 65. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 64. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 63. And Monday is a repeat, mostly sunny with a high of 67. Right now in Madison, it's 55. In Waukesha, it's 55. In Green Bay, it's 53. And in Milwaukee, it's sunny and 55 degrees. I'm Tiff Pua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
And good afternoon.
Not quite.
Boy, I'm whipping through this day. No, good morning, everybody. It's a Thursday edition in this shortened week because of the holiday weekend last week. And Kristin Brey, Steve Scaffidi, Point Taken. As I speak, and soon to be you, HHS, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. testifying on Capitol Hill. The first comment I saw from one of the senators to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., "You're a charlatan." That was the hot quote that came out of the first few minutes. This is an individual, and I'm going to make a lot of people mad because I don't want to even tie this to the president, even though the president put him in that position. This is
a different beast.
Yeah, this is an individual who is, in my opinion, is not qualified for the job he has. He's a former Democrat, now apparently an ally of Republicans, who has said some of the craziest things when it comes to infectious diseases, autism. I mean, there's about a million things. He's been in charge of organizations where their sole mission was to take down vaccine programs, to peddle conspiracy theories. He's written books on it. This is a guy, despite his incredible family heritage and that name, I don't think lives up to that name by any stretch of the imagination. Any stretch. He is a charlatan, and he should not be in that position. But the fact is, he is.
He is in the position, and he's not backing down. So there's obviously, if you've been following the news, the crisis that is happening at the CDC cannot be understated. So the focus of today's hearing is supposed to be the president's 2026 healthcare agenda, but obviously because of how much has been going on at the CDC, it's going to be a lot of other things. So there's the firing of the head of the CDC after they asked her to resign. She refused.
Susan Monterez.
And then three additional leaders resigned in protest of her being fired. There's been a letter with over 1,000 employees signing saying basically he is creating a dangerous situation for Americans as far as how unprepared, unqualified he is for this position. And on top of that, we should remember that 20,000 HHS staff, which is roughly 1/4 of the agency's workforce, has been fired or taken the offer to leave voluntarily.
20,000. Think about that number for a second. 20,000.
And it's wild watching this because from the RFK Jr. side and his supporters side, they are ousting the people. They're ousting corruption. The CDC has been an illegitimate, corrupt organization that is not done well by the people. So they are on this brigade of bringing trust back to that institution. And yet for so many of us, I would say you and I probably are in the other side of the camp of they are ruining the trust that we had in the CDC and different organizations under the HHS. And how are you ever going to earn the trust of people like us back? So overall, any way you slice this, I am worried about the health of Americans.
Yeah, and in the next segment, we're going to kind of explore how this sort of translates to states, because there's some crazy stuff happening in the state of Florida we'll get to. I look at this man who, I wish that my friends who are conservatives that support MAHA, which is Make America Healthy Again, or MAGA, which is Make America Great Again, could get past the fact that RFK Jr. is sort of a buff individual, pretty fit. It seems like they're super fixated on one's appearance and this odd fascination with that.
He takes steroids, right?
I don't know what he does, but he
defends his heroin use.
Yes.
Which I don't think is healthy.
He said he had a brain worm at some point. He's done his stories that he tells are just completely ridiculous. And I need a serious person in this position. That's my take on it. And when I see the dumbing down,
Someone who went to medical school?
Yeah. Actually knows an actual doctor.
Or at least has an MPH.
Something that has some knowledge base and has done actual research on infectious diseases that actually knows what he's talking about. This is an individual not qualified. He's a muckraker. He likes to peddle conspiracy theories. He's done it. He's written books on it. He's talked about it at all his appearances. 3 times married. Sort of an independent piece of his story, including his famous...
I see that's some of that stuff. It's like he just is not qualified to be doing this job.
Absolutely. What I don't like about this choice is it sort of enhances this idea, which is now, trust me, because I talked to a lot of conservatives, they are fixated right now, and some of it might be deflection, on sort of going after the COVID.
Relitigating COVID.
Yeah, relitigating COVID. The pandemic, all the things they think we did wrong, all the charges they want to bring against people like Dr. Anthony Fauci and others who they say lied to Congress, lied to the American people. And now every time I'm confronted with one of these, I say to people, here's the deal. This was a pandemic. We had no idea the scope and scale of this thing. We had people, remember the story? Northwest United States, first China, Northwest United States, nursing home, many of their patients were dying. They didn't know why they were dying. That's where the COVID story started here. What did you think was the role of the CDC? They have to react quickly. They don't have all the evidence. Much of early actions when it comes to serious public health emergencies are reactionary, not research related, because we're not there yet. We have to react to them. And that was the natural response. So this Monday morning quarterback that continues to go on about COVID makes me sick. It is not the way we should be doing things. And if you're going to put a serious physician like Dr. Anthony Fauci on the stand and potentially in jail, that's not an America I know. And that's nothing I would ever support. It's dangerous.
I guess when you have these conversations with people who want to relitigate COVID, what was the motive? Like, what in their brain, what was the motivation behind people purposefully mismanaging COVID?
I don't know if they think it was a power trip or sort of the we're smarter than you are mentality. One of the things that I've recognized among my conservative friends is they don't like to be told anything, including to wear a mask, to distance from people, to not do the things they did before. And that frustration they had then, because we all have stories about what happened during the pandemic, including some great ones that I told on the show at the time, where an individual would come into a line at a grocery store and start lecturing everybody about, why are you wearing those masks? Well, because we were instructed to. And I don't want to die if I have an underlying disease that maybe puts me in a high-risk group. But that's the kind of reaction we got then. Those people have never shut up about it, and they want to relive this story again.
But what is the end goal?
Because they want to be right, and they're not right. It's a frickin' pandemic. We don't have all the answers at the beginning. 5 years later, we're understanding the scope and scale and how serious this was. But to anyone who thinks this is all made up or COVID's not real, all you have to do is Google the numbers of deaths in the United States. Why do you think we saw the spike during that time? Why do you think that happened? It just randomly happened? We had 2 or 3 years of a million people dying and millions around the world? That just happened randomly? The Monday Morning Quarterback piece of this drives me nuts. RFK Jr. is not qualified for the position. That being said, he's probably going to be around for a while. And the impact of that will be felt in states, including Florida, which is doing something, a directive from their attorney general, which, frankly, I thought would never happen. Because I know history. I know world history. I know the study of what we used to be and how we came about to discover things and be smarter about our health and safety, and how we increased our lifespan in 1840 from 35 to the 1960s to almost 70. There's a reason for that. And the reason is science and medicine, not conspiracy theories and MAGA or Maha nonsense. We'll take you to Florida after this on 620 WTMJ.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi from Milwaukee Weight Loss. I love talking about Milwaukee Weight Loss. I just did yesterday with somebody at a workout place. I can't believe it myself. I lost 40 pounds, started in January. I did it, hard work, willpower, and with the help and the program from Milwaukee Weight Loss. They helped me feel better, stronger, more confident than I have in years. I'm going back in the reduction phase, going to lose the final 10 pounds before the end of the year. If you're frustrated with the trendy stuff, the shots, we all heard about the shots, some of the gimmicky things, meals, bar, shakes. There's a better way, trust me, and Milwaukee Weight Loss is that better way. You can do it. It's doctor-developed natural, has helped thousands of people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks. Willpower, you can do it. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in just a month or two, and then you keep it off. You reset your metabolism. Stop the yo-yo stuff. Take control. Smarter, faster, and safer way to reach your weight loss goals. Milwaukee Weight Loss, they're a great team. They're great coaches. All you got to do is call 262-393-2334 or go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
We see you out there building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like up to $60 off 12-volt GPI fuel transfer pumps, $30 off select Kurt trailer hitches, including special orders, 1.5 amp Schumacher battery maintainers, $27.99. Plus, Fall Chick Days start Friday, September 5th with freshly hatched layer chicks and meat birds. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Oh, you bet I'm fired up on this one because I'm a person of science who believes in the importance of research. People who have actually earned the right to have opinions on things like vaccines. Now, you and I have been talking about this vaccine for a while, and I wanted to get it in the show because I think it's sort of a perfect demonstration of what happens when you put knuckleheads in charge of serious things. I know that's not the most cleverest way I could have said that, but it's sort of true. And in the state of Florida, the Surgeon General of the state of Florida is now advocating, actually, it's going to be the law of the land.
Yeah, it's happening.
All vaccines. No requirement, even for schools. Hepatitis, polio, certainly measles, COVID, even for high-risk groups. No, we're not requiring any of that. It is absolutely astounding to me.
Didn't he refer or make the analogy between mandated vaccines as like slavery?
Yes, he did.
Which is also interesting because he's an African-American man. Yeah,
interesting use of that term. I don't get it.
To me, this is the bigger question of should managing communicable diseases be a state right?
It's a great question.
You know, like it's when we break down different things that are, because on the flip side of this, now that there's going to be an alliance between, I think it's California, Oregon, and who's the third one? Washington just announced a new health alliance. So basically, they're setting their own vaccine recommendations that is independent of the CDC, because now they are claiming that under the leadership of RFK Jr., you cannot trust the CDC, so they're doing their own thing. So I feel like this is just another example of how we are headed to a place where you have a very increasingly different laws depending on where you live, because some of these things. So it's like, what are the actual laws that bind us as Americans and taking care of each other as Americans? Because last time I checked, just because you live in Florida and your kid doesn't have to get vaccines anymore, if you travel, that still affects anyone who lives anywhere else that is coming in contact with you.
Yeah, and two things. Save the text. Yes, you can still get vaccines.
Yes,
they're not outlawing
mandated.
them. Okay. And the other thing is, because I know I'm going to get natural immunity text. Vaccination is safer because natural immunity, it basically introduced a disease into your immune system. Vaccines do it in a controlled way. Natural immunity, you just get the disease. And because of the nature of diseases, it can be extremely disruptive to your life process, and it can make you sick. And again, I'll go to the classic example that I always hear when I read, or always see when I read about this. We have changed for the good, to the good, the lifespan of humans because of vaccines. We have made the lives of many people, including children, because I think before 1840, half the kids died before they were of the age of 5. Think about that. You had a kid, 50-50, they lived till 5 years old.
I know, that's crazy to think about.
It's gruesome. It's crazy. It doesn't have to happen. And this is something that I'm very passionate about because I'm a person of science who believes in science. I'm not a doctor by any stretch of the imagination. But this guy, RFK Jr., has demonized mRNA vaccines, which are completely normal and healthy. It introduces a safe piece of the disease in your body so your body can naturally react to it. It doesn't let the body just do whatever it does to natural immunity. And if you're such a fan of natural immunity, how'd that work before it was mandated? Not that well, right? Before vaccines were mandated. It didn't work that well. People died. People didn't live as long. People got sick. Kids got the measles. They made other people around them sicker, including causing death and not a good lifestyle.
Like, if you keep pulling on this thread, is the next thing to be like, oh, antibiotics.
Yeah. Oh, there's too many of those.
Those aren't natural. The antibiotics aren't natural. And so just let the infection take its course.
I just don't. It's so frustrating to me as somebody who, I'm not bragging, but I read a lot. I want to be prepared for what we talk about. And I see this rise of stupidity. And you can have another opinion, certainly, but it has to be based on something. And I can use history because it gives us a perfect life lesson on how valuable vaccines and health and science and research,
scientific innovation is.
How it's worked. People live longer because we can now replace their hearts. I have a good friend who had a heart transplant. He's roughly my age. He's living a normal life. He would have died 50 years ago.
And this comes back to the defunding of medical research. If we're actually trying to make America healthy again, why are we stopping cancer research, Alzheimer's research, and taking the funding away from making advancements of which you are much more likely to get one of those diseases than die from red dye 40.
Yeah. It's this sort of this weird fascination with the good old days.
And not that we shouldn't make our food healthier, because I think there is something to be said as far as the fact that like nicotine cigarette companies basically took over Nabisco and like all of our snacks are addictive on purpose, right? Like there is something to be said for that, but it's a bigger picture than just going after food. It's a bigger picture than just going after big pharma. Because let me tell you something, big wellness, much bigger industry than big pharma.
Yeah, absolutely. 855-616-1620, you can weigh in. What if something like this was proposed in Wisconsin? I'd just be curious what you folks thought about that. Let's say we just scrub the requirements for vaccination for children going to school. Would you be a fan of that? Especially if you're a MAGA or a Trump supporter. How do you feel about that part of this equation? Because that's essentially what's happening. Started in Florida. Where it goes next, I can guarantee you people will pick up on this. Leaders in other states who lean that way. Oh, we love that idea. Is it coming to Wisconsin? We'll discuss after this on 620 WTMJ.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Ridgetop Exteriors and Cornerstone Development. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
It's September. Markets continue to face uncertainty. Ongoing trade disputes, persistent inflation, and geopolitical tensions contribute to an unpredictable economic landscape for investment retirement planning. The fee-only fiduciaries at Annex Wealth Management provide clear, objective guidance. Their approach begins with understanding your unique financial situation, setting realistic goals, and crafting a strategy tailored to your needs. Unlike advisors who push commission products, Annex prioritizes your best interest. Their experienced team integrates all the aspects of wealth management, retirement planning, investment strategies, tax optimization, that's a big one, estate planning under one roof. With 8 convenient Wisconsin locations for in-person consultations, and if you want to, flexible virtual meetings via Zoom. I've done that, worked great. Annex ensures accessibility and convenience, meeting you where you are. Steve Scaffidi for Annex Wealth Management. Whether you're exploring Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, or Annex Ignite to get started, their solutions are customized to fit your needs. Visit annexwealth.com. Click on the now famous Get Started. That's how I got started with Annex, to begin the conversation and creating a personalized financial plan. Easy to find, annexwealth.com. That's Annex Wealth Management.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers, where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Namaste.
Dan, what are you doing?
Shh, you're harshing my mellow. Join me in some breathing exercises to chase away the chaos.
Let's focus on our clients, since we offer an exceptional way to control the chaos.
Inspired Closets can more than double your closet storage space.
And we don't over-design projects, sending you 3 beautiful designs to fit your price point.
Plus, our true lifetime warranty makes it a no-brainer.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets,
a wife and husband team.
Probably could have done an hour on this, but we're going to move on after the break. But we got a million texts on this, and I'm going to read a couple quickly. One that scares the heck out of me. This is how pandemics start. Yeah, you're exactly right. On the other side, I'm a healthcare professional who was always pro-vaccine until COVID happened. The vaccine came out way too quickly, their opinion. A coworker sent me a list of vaccines. Oh, it just flipped for me. I'll wrap it with that.
I think I do understand people's frustration when they first came out and said the vaccine would mean you wouldn't get COVID. And then that was quickly proven.
Because it's the early days of a pandemic. You don't know.
And so, but if there is the data of once the vaccine was available and the data of who was continuing to be hospitalized and dying, and the overwhelming majority were people who were unvaccinated. So what was true and is provable is that if you got the vaccine, your risk of being hospitalized and dying did go down.
Yes. It mitigated what could have been even worse tragedy. Lots of texts, as I said. We're going to have a lot more to talk about on today's program. We got some guests as well. All right. Local news coming up with Tiff Pua. We got the latest from ABC. Final thought on this really quick. We should be thinking a lot harder about the decisions we make when it comes to health care. All right. Here's now the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Health Secretary Robert Kennedy on Capitol Hill asked by Virginia Senator Mark Warner about the COVID vaccine and the pandemic itself.
Do you accept the fact that 1 million Americans died from COVID? I don't know how many died. You're the Secretary of Health and Human Services. You don't have any idea how many Americans died from COVID?
Kennedy also asked about the recent turmoil at the CDC, including the firing of the director.
These changes were absolutely necessary adjustments to restore the agency to its role as the world's gold standard public health agency with the central mission of protecting Americans from infectious disease.
The Trump administration has gone to the Supreme Court asking for a quick ruling on the Trump tariffs, which an appellate court ruled were illegal. Giorgio Armani has died. He was 91 years old. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 10:31. I'm Tiff Pua. 11 people injured after a multi-vehicle accident in Racine happened around 3:30 Wednesday afternoon near 16th Street and Murray Avenue. Police say a car crossed into the lane on the other side of the road, striking another car, which then hit a city bus. The 20-year-old woman driving the first car was arrested and taken to the hospital. No one is hurt after a crash involving a school bus in Milwaukee. Happened around 6:30 Wednesday morning when an SUV rear-ended the bus while it was stopped at a red light near 51st and Fond du Lac. 4 children were on the bus at the time. And Milwaukee Tool is poised to expand its footprint in southeast Wisconsin. The company is making a $42 million investment in its newest facility in Menominee Falls, backed by $4.5 million in performance-based tax credits from the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. The expansion is expected to create up to 300 new jobs. Time for news about your money. Here's your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything's still in the green on the board. Your Dow is up 192 points to 45,463. S&P 500 is up 23 points to 6,471. And the NASDAQ is up 67 points to 21,564. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. No major incidents to report. We've got a couple of disabled vehicles around the system, but they're all out of traffic, so it's actually moving smoothly through the area. Stay safe out there, everyone. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, partly cloudy, breezy, and cool with a high of 65. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and windy, a low of 53. Friday, windy and partly cloudy with a high of 65. For your Saturday, mostly sunny, a high of 64. Sunday and Monday are the same, sunny, mostly sunny on Sunday with a high of 63, and Monday, mostly sunny with a high of 67. Right now in Palmyra, it's 56. In Campbellsport, it's 53. And in Milwaukee, it's sunny and 56 degrees. I'm Tiff Pua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 10:33.
It's a good idea to have a plumber in your contact list, and best probably to have it before an emergency. Vince Vitrano here. I've got your plumber. It's Horner Plumbing. For starters, this company is the trusted name in residential, commercial, and new construction for more than 50 years in southeast Wisconsin. My wife and I have them in our home working on a small project. Well, it's small for them, but any project is a big deal when it's in your house. You want it done right at a fair price. That's why we chose Horner Plumbing. Upfront pricing, so no surprises. Clear, honest estimates from professional plumbers who stand by their work. What do you need done? Water heater repair or install, drain cleaning, garbage disposals, bathroom and kitchen renovations. And how about saving some money? Tell them Vinny sent you and that you want $50 off that first service. Call Horner Plumbing for a free quote anytime. In an emergency or for residential, commercial, or new construction projects of any size. Serving southeast Wisconsin since 1969. The pros I trust. HornerPlumbing.com.
Discover how artificial intelligence is transforming manufacturing at the Midwest Manufacturing AI Summit, October 7th at Wisconsin State Fair Park, co-located with WIMTS. This workshop for manufacturing owners, executives, and operations managers will show how AI reduces downtime, increases throughput, and improves quality. Explore a technology showcase, connect with solution providers, consultants, and industry experts, and see how AI tools can drive results on your shop floor. Seats are limited. Register now at techedpodcast.com/AI Summit.
Rivalry baseball in September? It doesn't get any better. Join the Brewers as they battle the Cardinals Friday, September 12th through Sunday the 14th. While the action heats up, you can gear up for fall baseball with a Brewers crew neck giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on Saturday the 13th. Then bring the whole family for Looney Tunes Day on Sunday the 14th. The home stretch of the season is here, and you don't want to miss it. Get in on the action at brewers.com/tickets.
Thanks for joining us on this Thursday edition. Point taken. Kristin, Brey, Scaffidi. All right, so, and thanks for the fascinating vaccine conversation and RFK Jr. conversation. That story's continuing. He's continuing to testify, and we'll monitor that.
We'll probably have more with it with Joe and Bill tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm actually interviewing Dr. Mary Beth Graham, an expert on infectious disease, next week for the podcast, and I want to bring some of that back to the show, just on what this all means going forward. Now, one of the continuing stories of this administration has been the strange, sad, horrible story of Jeffrey Epstein, sexual abuser, died in prison, and yesterday. So this is sort of interesting.
So it's happening while we were on air yesterday.
Yeah. Well, some of the victims were testifying outside of Congress. Interesting little coverage thing. So CNBC, MSNBC, and CNN were all covering it live. Guess what Fox was recovering at?
CNBC or MSNBC?
MSNBC.
Or MS Now.
MS Now, whatever it is. But Fox was covering a Powerball story at the same time. Interesting sort of dynamic there. So we heard from the victims. We heard from the victims, and this story, I will say over and over again, and I have, is not going away. The president had a lot to say. The one word he uses it a lot when he talks about Epstein, not in the campaign because it was a different story then. Now is hoax.
This is a Democrat hoax that never ends.
Which is an interesting thing as far as the women. It's such a slap in the face to the women who are out there not testifying, but advocating for and having a press conference about their abuse.
Well, from a president who, when he was a candidate, said, I like to grab him by the you-know-what. So is that surprising to anybody?
And it's also, yes. There's lots of things when it comes to Trump's past with women. But this was one of the survivors' response when she heard that he had said this.
Mr. President Donald J. Trump, I am a registered Republican, not that that matters because this is not political. However, I cordially invite you to the Capitol to meet me in person so you can understand this is not a hoax. We are real human beings. This is real trauma.
Which is right on point. And someone who has already suffered enough and now has to suffer again because she has to make herself public and have to relive all this stuff. Look, you can love Donald Trump, but he's not getting off the hook on this because there are things that the public wants to know. There's things that survivors would like to have the public know, and we have a right to know. And again, I will remind supporters of the president and his administration, everybody attached to Donald Trump said over and over again on every interview, every campaign appearance, show us the list. I can dig up the audio if you want, but that's probably painful you to listen to because that's what he said. So why the two stories?
So here's one of the other things that came out of yesterday is the women saying that there isn't a list, right? There are files that have lots of information that have not been released, but there's not like a list that there's going to show, everyone who was involved, whether it be perpetrators, enablers, etc. But they did say that we could compile our own list. We can compare stories and compare who we knew we saw, we were engaged with, we were perpetrated by. And I don't know, legally, how does that hold up? Right? Because, what's been shocking about all of this is Marjorie Taylor Greene getting up there yesterday and also saying, for them to make these accusations against some of the richest, most powerful men in the world, when you don't have the resources and they get sued just into bankruptcy because they don't have the money to go up against these super powerful men. But MTG saying, give me the list and I will read it on the Congress floor. I don't know if that is...
Which should shock people.
I don't know if that is political theater or if she really means it. But if they were to come up and make the list and go public with that, do people just assume, like, immediately believe that? Does that run wild? Like, what are the actual ramifications of it coming from the survivors themselves versus the documents from the cases being released? And would that force us to actually start believing women when they say that they've been assaulted?
I think they should release the list. You asked the question, what would happen? I don't know if it holds up in court, but here's...
No, but this is two separate things. There's that. If they don't do that, so
Right.
obviously, like Thomas Massey's trying to
That's a legislative
force
process,
this
yeah.
issue that is separate. But
He's got 4 votes, he needs 6.
outside of the actual documents, the women publicized their memories of who they were engaged with and who was there and who they saw. And it's a list of the people who've already been kind of thrown out there, the Bill Clintons, the Bill Gates, the maybe Donald Trumps. Do people believe them at face value? And does that become enough? Or what does that chess move actually do?
2 things. Court of public opinion, I think it's really important that list comes out, created by the survivors, because I think that the court of public opinion matters, and we should see who's on the list. The other piece of this, the legislative piece, there's 4 votes they have, 4 Republicans. They have all the Democrats. They need 2 more Republicans, and then they're going to have it.
Force a vote.
Force a vote on this, and that puts every elected official's name on the record, yay or nay, should it be public. The other piece of this is all of these stories have been circulating now for years, right? And we hear bits and pieces. We know there's investigations. We know there was testimony. Donald Trump put people in place to have interviews with Ghislaine Maxwell. We never seen the text of that other than a few little things that dribbed and drabbed out. We have a right to know. And here's the other piece. And this is something that was alluded to. I was trying to find the exact source. I couldn't find it this morning. There are questions of whether or not this president is photographed or videotaped with young women. In the court of public opinion, those images carry weight. And if you see the president doing anything, and I'm not saying it exists, that's what someone said apparently at one of these press things, we should have the right to see it and then make our own judgment on that. There has to be a reason why for so long this president and his administration said, show us the list, and then all of a sudden, when Ghislaine Maxwell wanted to speak, when the survivors came forward, now it's a complete hoax. That flip-flop, which last time I checked, conservatives used to really make a big deal about flip-flops, right? You used to say this, now you say this. What's going on? We should be asking the what's going on question. Why is it a hoax now when it wasn't 6 months ago? That's a legitimate question we should all be asking. I am in support of these women. They already suffered enough. They should be supported. They should be listened to. And Congress should take that vote and make every member be on the record for the release of that list, especially the knuckleheads who are saying it's a hoax. All right, go on the record and say it. We're going to find out eventually. And I have a feeling it's more damaging than supporters of the president or even the president think they might be. And that's something we should all find out about. Quick break, 620 WTMJ.
It's there all day, and it never goes away. I hate pain. It robs us of so much. But if you take action today, your pain could be gone tomorrow. Because at Rejuvenex, we harness the power of Toradol and hyaluronic acid to calm the inflammation and cushion joints. Rejuvenex treatments are safe, they're FDA approved, and in most cases, insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, pays for them. At as low as $65 per injection per joint, our treatments are affordable. It's not a gimmick. It's pharmacological medicine administered in office in a simple and convenient manner. And with it, our patients have been able to avoid risky surgery and begin to stop the onset of arthritis. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and here we've made pain treatment as easy and affordable as it can be. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
There's a lot of noise coming out of Washington these days, but one thing retirees in Wisconsin can't afford to ignore is the new Big Beautiful Bill. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the truth. The changes buried in this bill could have a serious impact on your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we've dug into the details, and we want to make sure you know what's really at stake. The Big Beautiful Bill includes sweeping updates to tax brackets, Social Security thresholds, Medicare premiums, and retirement account rules. And for many retirees, it could mean higher taxes on your savings, more limits on deductions, and unexpected changes to your income plan. Maybe you're already retired, or maybe you're just a few years away. Either way, what you don't know could cost you thousands. That's why we're offering Wisconsin residents a free educational guide to help you understand how the new bill may impact retirees and questions to discuss with your trusted financial advisor. Just text the word tax to 414-897-9522. That's tax, T-A-X, to 414-897-9522. You'll get immediate access to expert insights from the team at Drake & Associates, retirement planners who have been serving Wisconsin for over 20 years. We focus on tax-efficient retirement planning, helping you keep more of your money, avoiding surprises, and staying ahead of the curve no matter what Congress throws your way. So before the Big Beautiful Bill takes a bite out of your hard-earned savings, let's make sure your plan is designed to help prepare for uncertainty. Text TAX to 414-897-9522. That's TAX to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping build retirement confidence right here in Wisconsin.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
The next time you're due for service, visit richlands.com to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 conveniently located facilities.
All AAA approved and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to serve you.
Richlands.
Talking about the Epstein list, it's not a fun topic by any stretch of the imagination. Somebody texted about, Gates and, I assume they mean Bill Gates and Bill Clinton are probably on the list. I don't doubt that.
I said that. I was like,
am I sad about that? Absolutely not. Doesn't surprise me at all.
Don't protect any of them.
No, they're creeps.
All of them. I do not care. There is not anyone in that list that could be on that list that I think deserves to be protected.
I suppose someone could make an argument that they were going on a plane to an island to have fun, but at some point you kind of know.
For a second, because some of the women who were speaking yesterday, like, when's the last time you hung out with a 14-year-old girl?
Yeah.
I have one of our babysitters for Frankie is 15, and she and her girlfriend come over and tag team because it's fun. They're young. They look so young, like they're about to get their driver's permit. And it's shocking to me to see how young they look, to think about them driving, let alone what I'm sure what their parents think. But 14, and they're 15. They're not even 14. That is so unbelievably young. Some of them don't even have their periods yet. And then one of the Brazilian woman yesterday who spoke, she goes, by the time she was 17, she had dropped out of high school because from 14 to 17, she worked for Epstein. And she had no high school education. Her only way of making money was working for him. And by the time she was 17, she was told she was too old.
Yeah. The reason they're speaking out is because no one listened to them.
All of them.
Yeah. No one listened to them for the last how many years when they were suffering all this abuse silently. They weren't getting any sort of justice. And then finally they did. And, of course, Epstein died in prison. And Maxwell apparently now put in a comfy sort of mini prison in Texas now where she can get out and do things. Like, why is that a thing? She wasn't having sex with him. She certainly was facilitating it. How is she all of a sudden, and this comment by the president, he's going to pardon her? If that happens, that is one of the most sickest pardons I've ever heard of.
And to the person who just texted, nobody explains why these young women agreed to go to Epstein Island. Do you know how easy it is to manipulate young people of understanding the opportunity that they're going to get? The modeling jobs they're going to get. We can, the woman that I was just referencing, she had no money. She was trying to make money to help her family. And so being able to exploit and target young women who have very little agency, very little power, a lot of naivete about how the world works, and all of a sudden you're offering them an opportunity to make money, do well for their family, get into the colleges they want to get to. Like, again, you can blame, where was the parental guidance on this, or whatever, but do not victim blame these girls.
It's like the argument about if you have a high school boy and girl, and the high schooler, the boy's like 18, the girl's 16. There are laws about that. You can't just do whatever you want to. I know it's not the same thing, but it's sort of, we have rules and laws because they make sense. And in this case, there's a reason why pedophilia exists, because the people that engage in that, they're good at persuading young women or boys to do these things when they're not mentally there yet, smart enough to resist those things or push back. Or in some ways, they're threatened with violence and they can't, which is probably part of that story as well, especially when you talk about young women. Who knows what they were told? Who knows what pressure was put on them? Maybe they were just corralled up thinking it was a photo shoot, and it turned out to be they're on a plane going to this island. They had no idea what they were going to face. And then shame on all the men who preyed on them, and many of them who are still prominent, and that's why the list matters. I want to know who those people are so you can make better decisions about whether or not we think they're good human beings or not, because frankly, if they did that, they're not good human beings. I think it's simple as that. But the victims have a right to speak out. And I'm glad they did that yesterday. And every network, all networks, should have been covering it. One more break. We'll talk about Kristin's big night tonight. Packers. I'm wearing my Packers stuff today. You did get the message?
Well, I got the message and then I forgot.
All right. Quick break on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, did you know it's Grandparents' Weekend? I know, not as popular as Mother's or Father's Day, but just as important, right? WTMJ's John Mercure here. Take your mom, your dad, your grandparents to the amazing Mind Chef family restaurant in Hartford. The Friday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is just $7.99. You'll pay double for that at other restaurants. The Saturday steak or prime rib dinner with all the sides are both under $25. Desserts, I love their desserts, are buy one, get one free. The Sunday brunch is all you can eat. It's a feast. It's under $15. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. The Mind Chef is super affordable. It's family friendly. You'll love the Friday all-you-can-eat $7.99 haddock fish fry serving from 10:30. Arrive early. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mind Chef. The Mind Chef's in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh near the EAA. Lots of seating, lots of close parking. Reserve your grandparents' weekend table now. Google the Mind Chef restaurant.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Love cutting your lawn or raking leaves? Yeah, right. Well, if you lived in a brand new Cornerstone development community, someone else handles those duties. Buy a brand new home in the Grove in River Hills, the Glen at Stonewall Farms in Grafton, the Glen at Standing Stone in Waukesha, or the Glen at Wanakee in Menominee Falls, and they take care of the maintenance. All built with your selection of finishes. If you downsize, there's a clubhouse for when you temporarily need to upsize. Take a virtual tour and see for yourself at cornerstonedevelopment.com.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to AdventKnows.com.
Imagine that unbelievable new deck in your backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck builder. Building new decks and replacing old ones, creating that $1 million feeling every time you relax in your own backyard. Looking for a company to make your backyard scream wow? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's resourceful Waukesha showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, talking some Packers. I have my Packers shirt on. to just wear your NFL team stuff today.
And I failed.
You look lovely in your scarf, though. So.
I do have a nice scarf.
too.
I wear a Packers scarf.
So you're going to be talking Packers tonight.
I know. I'm excited. So Inside Journal Sentinel does these events probably once a month, maybe a couple times a year, called Inside the Journal Sentinel. We've done ones with Mary Spicuzza after she had her My Cousin Augie article last year.
Brilliant.
We've done one with Tom Dakin talking about development around the city. But I usually get chosen to be the MC since I talk for a living. And tonight we are doing it with the Packers coverage team. So it's Tom Silverstein, Pete Doherty, Dominique Yates. Ryan Wood will not be there because he has to stay in Green Bay. But
a lot going on.
But it's going to be at the New Fashion, which is across from the Fiserv. It's free from 5 to 7 if you would like to come. Text Packers to 855-616-1620, and we will send you the Eventbrite link with all the details and where you can RSVP. But yeah, it should be fun. It'll be fun to get their insight. Because I feel like with those guys, at least I've done one with Tom before, who's been doing this for decades. And so he has lots of stories. But he says, he's like, I'm not a fan. Like, I'm a journalist.
Right.
Which I think is a hard role, right? As far as, you were a fan. And so I feel like you can complain about, like, your approach to talking about the Packers or any of the sports teams is always going to be from that angle. And it's hard to imagine, like, how you can be that close to a team, especially for that long, and keep the distance of being like, I'm not a fan. Like, I don't let my emotions get in the way when they win or lose.
Yeah, well, that's the challenge, right?
That's the job.
And the good ones can do that. And we have some good ones in the state of Wisconsin. It's probably, I was just talking about this with producer Brandon Snide. This probably has one of the highest anticipation levels of any Packers season in quite a while. This is, with the Micah Parsons news, a lot of people picking them to win the NFC North, but also to win the NFC and then go to the Super Bowl. Anything can happen.
This is the thing with football, right?
Yeah.
Injuries are injuries, and they're inevitable across the teams of who starts the season strong and who's still playing by the end of the season, right? That can change the entire outlook for a team.
Yeah, and here's how this impacts me, because if the Packers go to the Super Bowl, I have a trip planned right around that same time to Cancun. 866-GO-FOX-GO. You like that segue? You can still join me. There's still some seats available.
So you wouldn't cancel it?
No, we'll go.
You're under contract?
I'm under contract.
There's no way you can go to the Super Bowl even if the Packers go.
I already had talked to Kathy about that. We weren't going to the Super Bowl this time because we went to the last one, so I'm good with that.
You went to the last Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Or the last when the Packers were in the Super
Dallas.
Bowl? Oh,
that's the only ones I really care about. So you can join me, 866-GO-FOX-GO. It's Come Along, Winter Come Along with yours truly, Steve Scaffidi. Go to foxroadtravel.com, group tours, Cancun, first week in February. I already saw almost 24 people have signed up. Awesome. Still got some seats left. Let's do that. Let's fill that up so I don't have to think about that. We just enjoy the experience. And here's the cool thing that we do on these trips. If you're coming on a trip, we do a pre-trip meeting right here at 620 WTMJ.
You do it here or do you in the market hall?
We do it, well, if the market hall is open, we do it both. But I give you a tour of because on Saturdays. Yeah, and it's quiet here. So tour of the facility. It's pretty much fun. So come along to Cancun. We'll all be tan. We'll all have fun. It's a 5-star resort, Secrets Divine in Cancun. And here's the cool part before we go to break. Direct flight, Milwaukee to Cancun. None of this stopping stuff. None of this getting O'Hare. Direct flight.
No layovers.
So don't wait. Don't hesitate. Join us. Have fun. Cancun. News is next.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, our weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. It's sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining me today is Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, we've talked about buying insurance on price alone, the risk that comes with that. Let's talk more specifics for folks listening. Some of the examples that you shared before we were on the air here were very interesting.
Thank you, Vince. Great to be here again. I've handled or overseen tens of thousands of insurance claims in the many years I've been in this business. Here are some of the most frequent mistakes I've seen. Claims involving water damage. There are some of the most complex claims to investigate and handle, but many buyers are not aware you can purchase coverage for flood or backup of sewers and drains. Electing not to buy certain coverages or even enough coverage is a frequent mistake, often done to try and save money. Cyber insurance. Many businesses still do not purchase this coverage. Business income and extra expense. My experience has shown many insurance buyers and their agents underestimate how much coverage their client will need. Vince, I've said it before, low prices are great, but I can tell you that nothing stings like finding out you are uninsured or not adequately insured until after a loss.
So from all that, Jeff, what's the primary takeaway for folks listening right now?
It's important to work with a partner that understands insurance coverage in depth and can market your business to ensure you're getting a competitive price as well. You can have both.
So why should a business or a family work with R&R Insurance?
At R&R, we understand insurance coverage and dynamic market conditions. We understand how to present your account to an underwriter in the most favorable light. And R&R has been helping clients for almost 50 years. If you're looking for a better insurance purchasing experience, we'd love to sit down and speak with you. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Baseball is a long season. Some call it a labor.
Okay, just remember to keep breathing.
But here in Milwaukee, we call it a labor of love.
Here.
I'm screaming! Ah!
Fly ball to deep right. It is back. Soto back. Out of here!
It's the Brewers clashing with the Phillies in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 2:35 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm gone.
At 11 o'clock, it's 57 degrees. Today, partly cloudy, breezy, and cool with a high of 65. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Tiff Pua. A death investigation continues in West Dallas near a busy construction zone.
The call for service initially coming in around 6:15 Thursday morning near South 96th and West Lincoln, just north of a busy construction area in West Dallas. Police scanner audio indicating the death may have been the result of a medical emergency.
Cardiac arrest, not breathing, West Lincoln Avenue.
Outside an apartment complex nearby, a woman of unknown relation to the victim breaking down in the middle of the street, being consoled by West Dallas police. At South 96th and Grant, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
No prison time for hotel workers charged in the death of Devontae Mitchell outside a downtown Milwaukee hotel last year.
The state's perspective on this case has always been that Mr. Erickson is the most culpable.
Despite that recommendation, the judge ordered only probation for security guards Todd Erickson and Brandon Turner. He gave no jail time or probation to bellhop Herbert Williamson and front desk assistant Devin Johnson Carson. Devontae Mitchell's wife, Deasia Harmon.
It is disheartening and it's disappointing. Basically, everyone here today is getting away with murder.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Health and Human Services Secretary faces questions at a Senate hearing about last week's shakeup at the CDC, as well as recommendations from the FDA about who should receive vaccines.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. defended last week's firing of the CDC director after less than a month on the job, saying the agency misled the public through the pandemic.
I need to fire some of those people to make sure this doesn't happen again.
In addition to sharp questions from Senate Democrats,
Sir, you're a charlatan. That's what you are.
Kennedy also faced the concerns of two Senate Republicans, both physicians. Bill Cassidy of Louisiana.
I would say effectively we're denying people vaccine.
John Barrasso of Wyoming.
I support vaccines. I'm a doctor. Vaccines work.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says President Trump did not believe that Jeffrey Epstein's victims are trying to perpetrate a hoax when they tell him what happened to them, but instead, as Johnson's words now, great sympathy for the women who have suffered these unspeakable harms.
The president knows and has great sympathy for the women who have suffered these unspeakable harms. It's detestable to him. He and I have spoken about this as recently as 24 hours ago. What he's talking about is the Democrats who are doing this with impure motives. If they cared so much about this, why didn't they do something during the 4 years of the Biden administration when the Biden DOJ had all the records? They didn't say a word about it. Now they're doing it for political purposes.
Some of Epstein's victims spoke yesterday outside of the House of Representatives. President Trump has called for the release of some of the Epstein files. Johnson has said that President Trump's use of the word hoax has been taken out of context. Time for news about your money. Here's your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything's still in the green on the boards. Your Dow is up 217 points to 45,488. Your S&P 500 is up 25 points to 6,473. And the NASDAQ is up 69 points to 21,566. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:05.
I've been playing sports all my life. Little football, basketball, pickleball, cross training, mud events, Spartan races and things like that.
For Dr. Eric Williams, a successful chiropractor, staying active means everything. So when nagging knee pain slowed him down, he didn't want drugs or invasive surgery. He found a natural way to get lasting relief. QC Kinetics Cellular Therapies.
We're using my body's natural abilities to get better. And that's huge. In time, that's going to be the way of the future. Using your own body's ability to heal. Now I can play day to day and not have that severe pain.
Now he's back out there doing what he loves, thanks to QC Kinetics.
Life is good. You're not going to slow me down.
Leave the pain behind and get moving. Book your free consultation today with QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Save big money right now at Menards. From smoke and carbon monoxide detectors to fire extinguishers and more, Kidde Home Safety products keep your family protected in case of emergencies. Smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are perfect for your living spaces, offering protection and peace of mind. Save big money on all Kidde products at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, John Mercure here for Experience Wisconsin. Join me every Saturday at 1 o'clock for Experience Wisconsin. We check in with communities across the state for the best and brightest spots around Wisconsin. It's fun. It's cool. It's interesting. I even learn stuff most weeks. This week on Experience Wisconsin, we check out Rhinelander, the Northwoods in the fall. How good is that? And Lake Geneva. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1, right here on 620 WTMJ. Catch it also at WTMJ.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Brewers with a 6-3 win in Game 2 of their series against the Phillies. Christian Yelich was scratched from Wednesday's starting lineup 30 minutes before the game with lower back soreness. Manager Pat Murphy.
He hasn't been out all year. He played all those games. He's really been super healthy for us and super critical, but it didn't respond well. It's come on a little bit.
The Crew will wrap up their series with the Phillies this afternoon at American Family Field. Coverage starts at 2:35 right here on WTMJ. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. No major incidents or issues to report. A couple of disabled vehicles out on the roadways, but they are all out of traffic and not impacting anything. Stay safe on the roads out there.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast today. Partly cloudy, breezy, and cool with a high of 65. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and windy, a low of 53. For your Friday, windy and partly cloudy, a high of 65. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, all about the same. Mostly sunny for everything. Saturday with a high of 64. Sunday with a high of 63. And Monday with a high of 67. Right now in Madison, it's 57. In Waukesha, it's 57. In Green Bay, it's 55. And in Milwaukee, it's mostly sunny and 57 degrees. I'm Tiff Pua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is coming up on 11:09.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
Welcome back to the 11 o'clock hour of Point Taken, and it is Thursday, so who is here but, of course, Jeremy Janine of Urban Milwaukee. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm doing even better with my microphone on.
Yeah, that is better.
Yeah.
That
I
is
got fan mail for you that I didn't forward. It said they really liked your appearances every week on Thursday.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, excellent. Love to hear it. Happy to be here.
As do I.
Yeah, it's always a welcome update
It's
of
one
things
of the
that we
best
may have
sources
missed that's happening in Milwaukee.
Yeah, absolutely. And always appreciate you coming in and doing this. Where are we starting
We're
this week?
starting with, so in a time where it feels like federal funding keeps getting slashed and projects keep going away, there's now some federal grants that are coming in for transit in Milwaukee?
There are. And the big picture, there's kind of two kinds of federal funding. There's the kind of money that we're hearing about getting slashed is direct grants. We're going to give you money for this project. There's also projects or federal funding that I describe as like throw it over the wall funding, where the federal government across the entire country is like on a formula basis. It's like, we're going to give this region this money for this program, and the state will decide how to spend it. So the grants we're going to talk about are all that throw it over the wall money, where it's the program is called the Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Grant Program. Okay. So in areas like southeastern Wisconsin and northeastern Wisconsin, the federal government allocates some formula funds. A lot of the Wisconsin Department of Transportation has these formula funds. So when you hear about federally funded road projects, it's just kind of federal government throwing money over the wall and saying, states, you do it based on your population.
Okay. So what are we getting?
Yeah. So Governor Tony Evers last week announced 22 projects in southeastern Wisconsin are getting funded. Things big and small, like traffic signal optimizations, not sexy, but when you think about congestion, what are the things that slow you down? The red light.
Well, also the red lights not being synchronized.
Right.
That drives me nuts in downtown Milwaukee.
That's insane.
Of like you just go and then immediately the next light, you're like, I want to block. Why have I stopped again? So is that what we're talking about?
For some of those grants,
Okay.
yes. So the city has this couple-year-old effort now to kind of think more about being able to control its traffic lights. And so it got money for that. It's several times now it's received money, and it continues to wire in.
What's that program called? Do you know?
What
the traffic light program?
I don't know that it has a formal name.
It should have a name because I'm pissed off about it like you are. It's ridiculous. This morning.
Seems like it should be easier to
go,
fix, but maybe
stop,
it's not.
Go.
Yeah, I grew up in Janesville, and we had this wonderful street coming out of downtown where as long as you went 29 miles per hour, you would never hit a red light.
I like how you sequenced that.
Was that like a known thing in Janesville? Everyone knew that's the exact speed they had to go?
I think my dad clued me into it at some point. Manhattan actually has
secret
the
that's
same
handed
thing.
down generation to generation.
Generationally. So Milwaukee doesn't have that. But let's get back to some of the bigger, higher ticket things, which is that federal rail grant. So again, this is the state allocating the federal money. Will boost train speeds in downtown Milwaukee. You're like, well, why does that matter? It's one of, going back a decade now, one of 10 projects identified to increase the Hiawatha from 7 round trips a day to 10. So that's 6 more trips, and producer Jaslin's raising her hands in excitement to get to Chicago.
Yeah. Which works amazingly well, by the way. I've done it a bunch of times.
The other thing is, if you're driving in the Menominee Valley and have ever been stuck by a freight train, this could actually help you, because the speed limit right now is 10 miles per hour for trains. This signaling improvement will push it up to 40 miles per hour.
Oof.
So that's dramatically cutting the amount of time you're sitting at 13th Street waiting for a train to pass. Other grants, MCTS got a lot of money, something like $8 million to buy new buses. More interesting, and this gets back to traffic signals, they got about $2 million to time lights, again, for drivers and for buses, on Water Street and 6th Street through downtown, which are 2 primary bus corridors. And then the other thing, that notable project we've written about, is South 16th Street between Wilson Park and Pulaski Park on the south side. So think Howard Avenue to a little bit north of Oklahoman Avenue. That's a really wide street with not a lot of traffic. Protected bike lane coming in there. On its own, that project doesn't merit probably a protected bike lane. But when you think about there's a new protected bike lane on Oklahoma Avenue, there's a plan to extend the Kinnickinnick River Trail into Pulaski Park. It's one piece of a much larger network.
2 things. Why are these funds not being yanked like the federal government's yanking everything else?
I don't know how long the state has had this money. It's money the state regularly gets in the CMAQ program, Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality, that similar to state highway funding from the federal government, that the federal government, again, throws it over the wall and says, you do with it, formula funding. Things, especially for that state highway money, would really start to break down if the federal government yanked all that money back.
All right, very personal, specific question. So I'm driving to work, got off the Hone 794, try to go left on Michigan, street closed. Is there a place where all of us drivers, residents of downtown, can quickly find where the street closures are and why they're there and how long they'll last? Is there such a place? Does it exist?
Such a place does not exist in one place. There are a couple places. Wistat, if you're traveling on 894 this weekend.
This is city roads, though.
Yes.
Michigan Avenue.
So, yep, the city has an Engage MKE website that explains some of that a little bit.
Engage MKE.
Yes.
Public service for all of you out there who are pissed like I was this morning, wasting my time. And those.
Did you figure it out?
I eventually got here,
Okay,
yes.
yeah. Glad.
Way before you did.
Was there another street you could take?
Yes, many other streets. Because
Yeah,
I was up at Brady Street for a while just saying hi to everybody up there. I was all over the damn city. Everything was closed. Barrels everywhere.
All right, well, let's take a break. And when we come back, stick with transit because there's a new plan for the MTA evasion, people actually having to pay.
There is concepts of a plan.
Concepts of a plan. We love that.
Is there a study group?
All right, quick break. It's point taken.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
We see you out there building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like rolls of Maisel welded wire fencing. Rewards members buy one, get one half price. Blaine's brand commercial vehicle batteries, $5 off for rewards members. And 5 gallons of Mystic diesel oil, just $39.99 after sale and rebate. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
You don't have to be going for the largest personal injury verdict in state history to call us, or the largest product liability verdict in state history. But just in case it gets that big, we're the ones most qualified to handle it. Since 1930, our firm has handled and won the largest personal injury cases in Wisconsin history. And we want to handle your car accident case too. Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service. Visit habish.com for more information.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back September 9th.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Texas Rangers.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in September 9th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
Everybody wants to be closer to free.
Who doesn't like free, right? Kristin, Steve, point taken.
Is
Jeremy
really
Janine.
free?
That's a great question. That's a philosophical question.
question.
Yeah. Deep question for a Thursday and in a holiday week. But yeah. Jeremy Janine, our studio guest, as he often is on Thursday. So you had a very specific question before.
Concepts of a plan.
An
so
idea.
we've talked about this before as far as the unknown number of people who are not paying when they get on the Milwaukee County transit system buses.
Deadbeats.
No, we also realize it's also because sometimes the app doesn't work.
I don't care.
And so then
Deadbeats.
the bus drivers just wave them on. And so it's more things than just people trying to get a free ride. So now there is a semblance of a plan?
There is a plan. There's very precise numbers for something that lacks precision in counting.
Okay.
Because you know how many people paid because they all scan or put cash in the box. You have some data on how many people aren't paying. So MCTS said it used to be 30%, and now in the last year it moved to 33%. And the way they get that is they actually send people out to ride the bus and just track it for a couple hours and then prorate that across the entire system.
Like polling works.
So they're very similar, yes. Their goal is to reduce from 33% to 30%. Now, as a cynical journalist, that to me rings out as something that you could easily declare mission accomplished on.
Because how do you prove it?
Yeah, but meaningfully, if they saw a fair revenue increase, that would be a good thing because their claim as the operator of the system is that basically 1 out of 3 riders at the moment aren't paying to ride the bus. Now, I think if MCTS released more data, and actually Ryan Polsina at Fox 6 went and wrote a couple routes and did some analysis of this, the 1 out of 3 is not universal across the system. I've long had an argument that the transit system reflects the neighborhoods and communities it goes through, and unfortunately it looks like the neighborhoods that have the highest poverty rate are where you're seeing people not paying the most, which is somewhat rational, you would expect. The alarming thing is Connect One, which is the new bus rapid transit system between downtown and the west side, that relies on what's called a proof of payment system. So one of the things that makes it rapid is instead of everyone waiting to pay their fare when they get on the bus, you're supposed to pay at these validators before getting on. Well, they've tested MCTS that it's 43% of people aren't paying on that route. So that's a real problem. But at the same time, MCTS could be deploying people there to intervene and, hey, get off, get on the next bus, go validate your fare, which is something as an idiot in St. Louis I had experienced once on their light rail system where they're like, you need to validate this. Okay, I learned. And it seems like MCTS isn't doing that, and they admitted when they tried doing that, it didn't go well. So when I say concepts of a plan, MCTS's plan at the moment is a public awareness campaign that when you get on the
tell me
bus...
There's not going to be another car, like another like art car that looks like an idiot,
Cone car.
Cone car. Yes, thank you.
There's no art car at the moment. The moving city, as it's known. When you get on the bus, there's often audio announcements, and now there's printed ads that say like your fare matters and encourages you to pay. I don't know that 1 out of 3 people that aren't paying, that's going to move them. We'll see.
Humans are creatures of habit. Now, maybe the free fare hop has trained people to just sort of walk onto public transportation and not assume they have to pay.
That's possible. The thing MCTS points at actually is Connect One was free when it launched for a period. I think the other thing is people have just learned no one's checking.
Well, yeah, because also imagine for the people who do ride the hop, which has been free, if they started charging for the hop, how many people would jump on because it's always been free and having to change that behavior?
That's one of the arguments the city's made. The argument why the hop doesn't have fare boxes is it would cost more than the city would collect. MCTS seems like they're headed towards that argument here eventually on Connect One, where, okay, we can go enforce the fares, but it's going to cost us a lot of money to collect the fares. But it doesn't seem like they're actually using the manpower to try that yet. So that my question is...
Did the new guy start yet?
The new guy just appeared yesterday at his first committee meeting, whose name, unfortunately, I can't come up with.
He came from Chicago, right?
Yes, came from the CTA in Chicago, outsider leading the Milwaukee County Transit.
He's going to fix this.
I'm sure it'll be one of the things he's addressing. And
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And again, I can't stress this enough. MCTS had a chance to blame their $10 million budget deficit on this, and it was not one of the top 3 issues they cited as what's driving their deficit. So this is a problem, but it's not even one of the 3 biggest problems they're facing.
All right, Milwaukee Art Museum. New director, a woman who Trump tried to get rid of.
It essentially did get rid of the Smithsonian.
Yeah, because she left.
A big win for Milwaukee.
Pretty impressive resume.
Yes. Kim Sajet, I don't actually know if I can spell it, but I don't know if I'm saying it correctly yet. She was born to Dutch parents in Nigeria. She grew up in Australia, and for the past 12 years, she's led the National Portrait Gallery,
which
is a Smithsonian
been there many
institution.
times. It's one of the most amazing places in Washington, D.C. If you ever have a chance, it's free to go, by the way. Go check it out. But that's a big gig. This is also a big gig for all of us who love the Art Museum in Milwaukee. So this is a sort of a really big deal, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And the comments coming out of Andy Noonmaker, who I will note has been a Trump backer in the past, that like, this is a huge opportunity for us. We've got her. And then there was a subtle implication that the prior executive director, Marcel Palednik, grew the endowment substantially, but the museum's attendance declined. Not substantially, but a notable amount. That one of the things they want the new director to focus on is growing the attendance, and that they think she has the qualifications to do that.
Yeah, actually, Kathy and I were just talking about this last week. We haven't been in a few years. My kids were art docents there. We love that experience, but we have not been. I want to go see what it looks like now, because it does change. I mean, there's certain things that are standards that are always there, but I think it's something that we always drive by, a lot of us. You should actually go in. It's a pretty amazing building, and of course, the building itself is art.
And also, wasn't last year was when they there was the donations that kids are free basically forever now?
I believe that is the case. There's also, and look on the Art Museum website, there's free Thursdays. That's true of the Public Museum as well, but definitely take advantage of that.
Got a great text. New MCTS guy said, I will make it the best transit system the budget will allow.
All right.
I don't know what that means exactly. How about just stopping after the best transit system? That would have been good for me. Absolutely. All in. Quick break. Jeremy, Kristin, Steve, 620.
Baseball is a long season. Some call it a labor.
Okay, just remember to keep breathing.
But here in Milwaukee, we call it a labor of love.
I'm screaming, I'm screaming.
Fly ball to deep right. It is back. Soto back. Out of here.
It's the Brewers clashing with the Phillies in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 2:35. We are the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi, let me tell you about Advent. Yes, it's true. It changed my life. It changed my sleep life, and it can change yours if you go speak to Advent. Quick 30-minute visit. Ask your questions. Tell them your story. They may add in a simple sleep study at home in your own bed, and they'll determine what your problem really is. For me, it was sinuses and nasal passages, breathing triangle. Didn't even know I had a breathing triangle, to be honest, but after a short procedure in one of their offices, I breathe better than ever. It's amazing. My daughter Katie had it as well, and she says, you know what? Changed my life too. That's two people, you know. We're sleeping through the whole night now, and here's the best part. You wake up rested and refreshed and ready to do a radio show or whatever your thing is during the day. You want to find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better? Go to adventknows.com. Adventknows.com. Schedule an appointment today. Do not wait. Change your life starting today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time Accunet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick Accunet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You've heard about Tri-County Contracting and their worry-free roof tune-up. You've heard about their instant roof quote. But don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also handles windows. Our project at my home moving right along right now, and the process has been so easy and thorough. It's nice when you can trust the team you're working with and know that they are looking out for you. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and also windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Jeremy Janine joins us every Thursday, almost every Thursday. You've had a couple. There was this little summer Thursdays that we weren't here, didn't have you here, but he's back. He's from Milwaukee, filling us in on all things Milwaukee. Where did we say we're going next?
The way they're trying to fund the new courthouse. Convoluted is the term you used.
Yes, that was my journalist word, because editing this article that Graham Kilmer wrote made me have to really think about, okay, how does this money flow? So let's step back and identify why Milwaukee thinks it needs a new courthouse. There is what Frank Lloyd Wright called like the pile of rocks or whatever, the big courthouse that you are picturing in your mind right now. But then the felony criminal cases are actually heard in the safety building, which is essentially around the corner, connected by a skywalk. And that building and the existing courthouse has the issue, kind of the Hannah Dugan of incident gets to this, that if you're on trial, you have to be walked through the same hallway that the victim of your case might walk through, the jury's going to walk through. Right. Everything flows into that area. That's kind of the big, easy to identify issue. There's also space concerns.
Those are old.
Yeah, it's a 100-year-old building, and we're in a modern courthouse. If you've been in a courtroom lately, all the technology is just kind of bolted onto stone because the building is inflexible for modern use. So Milwaukee County has, and this is an eye-popping figure, a $490 million project to replace the safety building with essentially a new criminal courthouse. State budget just happened. The thought was, okay, maybe the state will seed us with some money to at least do the design, which was, I think, 20-some million was the hope to get. The state said, no, we actually don't fund courthouses, which I hadn't thought about, but is a case lots of counties and have gone to referendum to fund courthouse civic projects. But the Milwaukee County, and this is where it gets convoluted, did actually get some money. So Milwaukee County patrols its own highways. All of Milwaukee County is incorporated. So the sheriff patrols the highway, unlike the state patrol freeways, in other counties. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office pays for that out of its own pocket. So the state said, we can give you $9 million a year to do that. And then going in the other pocket of the sheriff's office budget, the county goes, we'll take $7.5 million out now, and we'll put that annually into our new courthouse project. Now, it's going to take many years of $7.5 million to get to $490 million, but there is now a funding stream to get this project rolling.
I would say that's convoluted, but at least they're thinking about it. It does have to be replaced. I've been in that building. It's not in good shape, public safety side of that. And it is dangerous and could be dangerous. That's something that we should also be thinking about. Let's take a break. We've got news coming at the bottom of the hour with Tiff Pua. I want to definitely talk about the street takeover stories. I know you're starting to report on that, and certainly what could be the role of National Guard. Chris and I talked yesterday how the National Guard might be coming in under the guise of ICE enforcement, so that's another little caveat to that story. So we'll do that in the next half hour. We also have another special guest coming later in the show, talk about the impact of flooding and how potentially people can help. Yep. That's coming up at about 11:45-ish or so. So stay tuned. Jeremy Janine, urbanmilwaukee.com is where you can find his great work. And we have local news. There's a lot to talk about. Thanks for all the texts, by the way, 855-616-1620, for telling us what you think about the stories we're covering today. Here now is the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. A continuing tense, combative Senate Finance Committee hearing with Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr., questioned by Oregon Democrat Ron Wyden about ousted CDC Director Susan Menares' newspaper piece that Kennedy told her to pre-approve recommendations of a vaccine advisory panel with unqualified people on it.
No, I did not say that to her. And I never had a private meeting with her. So there are witnesses to every meeting that we have, and all of those witnesses will say, I never said that.
So she's lying today to the American people in the Wall Street Journal?
Yes, sir.
The Trump administration moving forward with its Supreme Court appeal to keep in place most of the tariffs the president has put on imports to the U.S. More lightning strikes and wildfires along the West Coast. Giorgio Armani is dead. The iconic Italian designer turned the concept of understated elegance into a multi-billion-dollar fashion empire. 91. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:31. I'm Tiff Pua. A teenager pleads not guilty to sexual assault in La Crosse. A judge bound 17-year-old Jonah Larson over for trial. Investigators allege Larson forced a victim against a wall at a La Crosse youth facility before assaulting her despite repeated requests to stop. Larson is best known for his crocheting skills. He heads back to court on September 26th. The Milwaukee Art Museum has tapped Kim Sayet as its new director. Sayet's arrival follows the departure of Marcel Polednik, who stepped down this summer after 9 years at the helm. Sayet previously led the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery. She resigned earlier this year after criticism from President Trump over her diversity efforts. Sayet begins at the Milwaukee Art Museum September 22nd. And reopening postal service in Elm Grove on Friday. The post office suffered damage on August 14th and has been closed since. The Journal-Sentinel reports that a fire investigation revealed that the fire was caused by an electrical issue. That post office serves more than 250 households. Time for news about your money. Here's your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything's still in the green on the board today. Your Dow is up 205 points to 45,476. The S&P 500 is up 23 points to 6,471. And the NASDAQ is up 61 points to 21,559. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. No major incidents to report. It's been a really clean morning here on the roads. We have your typical slowdowns mostly now here. 41 southbound from about Hampton Road to about Hampton Avenue to about Burleigh, and then it clears up from there. So stay safe out there, everyone. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, partly cloudy, breezy, and cool with a high of 65. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and windy, a low of 53. Friday, windy and partly cloudy with a high of 65. And then for your weekend, mostly sunny every day, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Saturday, your high is 64. Sunday, your high is 63. And Monday, your high is 67. Right now in Oconomowoc, it's 56. In Kewaskum, it's 57. And in Milwaukee, it's mostly sunny and 57 degrees. I'm Tiff Pua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is coming up on 11:34.
Vince Vitrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield, and I just got this message from my team there they wanted to share. With the recent flooding in Milwaukee, so many in our community are dealing with unexpected damage to their homes. At Hunt's Flooring, we want our neighbors to know they are not alone. We're here to help. From emergency flooring removals to replacing water-damaged carpet, hardwood, or vinyl, our team is ready to guide homeowners through every step, from cleanup to new installation. Visit Hunt's Flooring on Highway 100 in Greenfield or get started now at huntsflooring.com.
Pull up to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and shoot your shot at big wins for Sweet Ticket September. Play with your rewards card for entries. Score triple on drawing Thursday. Win slam dunk prizes like cash, reward play, and tickets to see the Milwaukee Bucks in action. Sweet Ticket September. You ready for this? Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hey, don't forget it's Grandparents' Weekend. It's not as well known as Mother's or Father's Day, but just as important. Think about your grandma and grandpa. John Mercure from WTMJ here. Take your mom, your dad, your grandparents to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club for a free dinner. Enjoy a great steak, seafood, roast duck, the steak and lobster, delicious pasta dishes, even some new ones. Any entree, your second dinner is free. Desserts are also buy one, get one free, even on Grandparents' Weekend. This Saturday only, enjoy a 10-ounce prime rib with 4 garlic cream stuffed shrimp and all the sides for $69.99, and that's for 2 dinners. The Friday haddock fish fry is all you care to eat and one of the best. It's delicious. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. This Saturday only, enjoy 2 prime rib and shrimp dinners for just $69.99. Whoa! The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the Holy Hill Shrine. The fall drive is just spectacular. Call and reserve your free dinner, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Yes, we are in the city of Milwaukee on Wisconsin Avenue, the Avenue Studios. Kristin Brey looking wide-eyed and bushy-tailed on this Thursday morning with her little scarf on, looking fantastic. Big event tonight, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Packers is the theme. How can they find out about that real quick?
Text Packers to 855-616-1620.
And these things are awesome. I will try to make it. No guarantees. I will try to make it. There's like a 60-40 chance I'll be there. So that's pretty good, actually.
Pretty good.
Our guest for the next few minutes is Jeremy Janine. He's been here for the first half hour talking about all things Milwaukee. And I know we're talking about the right stuff because all the screens, all the monitors are showing the same stories we're talking about. So we're tied into what's on the minds of not only local media, but on the citizens of Milwaukee. Let's talk about this one. We talked about it yesterday. Street takeovers in Milwaukee. Big story over the weekend, Labor Day weekend. And the idea that perhaps the National Guard may come to Milwaukee. Now, more likely Baltimore, Chicago before that happens. You're starting to cover this story, I would imagine. What are you hearing? What are you seeing out there?
So I went deep into street takeovers much earlier this year. I'm looking at my article from June 4th. And the idea then was the city was going to ticket the onlookers. The reason street takeovers are hard to get the police to kind of wrap their arms around is they're big. There's all of a sudden there's a couple cars. This is largely driven by social media and messaging apps. Couple cars show up. They start doing kind of donuts in an intersection. We saw this at Water in Wisconsin and a handful of other intersections this weekend. But the onlookers, there's just dozens and dozens of people that can form real quickly, and then it gets amplified and then it moves to somewhere else. The city wanted to basically be able to ticket the people watching, which I imagine some lawyer is salivating at the idea of fighting that ticket in court. But Common Council President Perez pushed pause on that idea. He essentially pulled the item from a committee meeting and it went nowhere. And street takeovers just organically seemed to slow down a little bit after really peaking in May. Well, now we saw what happened last weekend, that it was, street takeovers aren't, I don't want to say dangerous for the public around them, but they are certainly a nuisance crime number 1 on the list of things that are obnoxious. And they're here. They're now driving the police union head to comment about bringing the National Guard here to get help, because it is a manpower issue to be able to go in and break up this. The MPD won't send in just 2 officers when there's 100 people and there's several cars doing donuts at alarming rates of speed.
How do they get broken up? So, the ones that happened this weekend, was there just enough people who were able to finally get in there and tell everyone to go home? Or
sirens on usually signals that there's time to leave.
They also just kind of have a shelf life. I'm guessing if we looked at security footage of all these different ones, which is something MPD does, that you would find kind of the same people hopped from intersection to intersection to intersection. And they probably just, they go, they kind of party a little bit, they shoot off fireworks, which are certainly annoying, and then they go somewhere else. You can see in one of the videos, there's one squad from MPD sitting there. And what was interesting to me is that was the code red area where there's supposed to actually be more squads available. So I don't know why there weren't more people there.
Texter or emailer, one of the two, sent me this yesterday. The reason why this matters is it's diverting resources that could be doing other things for something that's stupid.
Yes.
Right? I know that we've had this forever, drag racing, blah, 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 but you're wasting the resources of an already taxed organization, MPD. So why would you want to do that when we constantly complain about crime, some people? It makes sense. Now, what you do, of course, matters, and maybe some of the street calming things will have something to do with that. I guess you can narrow the area because those are big intersections. To spin a car like that and have that many people, those are huge intersections. Maybe you make the intersection smaller. That's part of calming. I don't know. There's no easy answer here.
No, and the police union, who is engaged with the city in what's now become a pretty bitter fight over a new contract that, oddly enough, will immediately expire the minute they sign it, their response has been, well, we might go to the Trump administration and ask to send in the National Guard, which I think if you were looking at something that you needed personnel for, this would be, for the reasons you just hit on, freeing up officers to do something else. Any amount of bodies you could throw at this problem that are extra would be a benefit.
In the future, facial recognition will pinpoint every one of those people that are standing around, and we'll just go after them later.
And charge them with what?
Public disobedience. I mean, there's all kinds of things.
But that's what we were just saying, as far as that even being an option, is like just to ticket the onlookers and lawyers being like, yeah, try it.
Oh, we got to do something, right? What's your answer?
I don't have one.
I'm
just
know.
saying, but you suggesting that being able to use AI and facial recognition is going to lead to us being to then charge them, but charge them with what?
Public civil disobedience. There's all kinds of things you can find people for.
But wouldn't they have to change the laws to deem this to be
we
part of...
We change the laws in Wisconsin like every week.
Would that have to happen at the state level or the city level?
The city is actually looking at changing an ordinance to ticket the onlooker. My guess is that there's going to be challenges to that at the state and federal level of, your First Amendment rights just to stand on the sidewalk.
And thank you, Texter. Reckless endangerment. Easy. There you go.
For just standing there.
For being involved in a disruptive public
See, that feels
event.
like a slippery slope then all of a sudden of like
I don't think
protesters and what gets decided as what's just being somewhere.
Put me on the side of law and order. Put her on the side of chaos.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
The one thing I should add is that the people that are actually at the center of this are, according to the police department, quite sophisticated. And you can see this in the videos. They're wearing face masks,
Yeah.
which will fool.
They know what they're doing.
They're covering their license plates, or they're using license plate flippers, which is a new technology I learned about. You can buy it on Amazon, flip your license plate around real quick, which is a real problem for law enforcement and I'm sure for tolls. So
How does that work? I'm going to look it up at the break.
yes, they apparently are cheap too, which is a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is not an easy problem to solve.
A silly answer, slime them like they do on Nickelodeon. Just slime them. Every one of those folks. Just boom. Then we put in a DPW, folks. They clean
Just
it
like
all up.
like it's just a big hanger
Big
over
spray
every
cannon over
intersection
every major
in Milwaukee.
intersection. Now I'm
just
just
like
being silly.
always has slime in it at
Yeah.
any given point.
Works for Nickelodeon. Look, they have that contract with the NFL now. That's how popular that idea is. Don't discount it until you have a better one.
All right, Mayor.
Jeremy Janine, urbanmilwaukee.com. Where's that great gift shop?
755 North Milwaukee Street.
It is
Milwaukee
all
and
things
Mason.
Milwaukee. Cool
All-
stuff. Tchotchkes, as they like to say. Some people say. All right. Important conversation coming up as well.
Absolutely.
We'll
All
do
right.
that after
Thanks,
this.
Jeremy.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds, flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature.
We'll dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare, this blue and white beauty of sunlight on water,
Should be worn on the fingers
the wrist,
the neck and the ears.
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, our weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market and how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. Sponsored by the original knowledge broker, R&R Insurance. Joining me today is Jeff Salasinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, we've been discussing the whole there can be a cost to buying insurance on price alone thing. Now, tell our listeners what you mean by that.
Thanks, Vince. Great to be here. The price of any product you buy is important. When it comes to business insurance, there are other critical factors. The services your agent or broker offers matter as well. The lowest price can many times leave you on your own.
What do you mean alone?
Navigating the claim process, first and foremost. Most buyers are unfamiliar with this process and how it works. These policies are complex, and we understand them in depth, what's covered and what is not. Loss prevention services, avoiding claims, is the best way to manage your insurance costs. Low prices are great, but Vince, if you're going to be out there alone trying to settle a claim with your carrier or constantly being referred to a website, ask, why isn't my agent or broker helping me?
Oh, there's a lot there. Okay, so what's one thing the audience should definitely take away?
It's important to work with a partner that provides important services like claims management and loss prevention services. Will ensure you're getting a competitive price and service. You can have both.
And why should a business then or family work with R&R Insurance?
Vince, at R&R, we invest in client-focused professional services, humans, real people to help our clients. We understand how to present your account to an underwriter in the most favorable light. And R&R has been helping clients for almost 50 years. If you're looking for a better insurance purchasing experience, we'd love to sit down and speak with you. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Drafty windows means wasted money. Call Siding Unlimited today for energy-efficient replacement windows and doors and start saving now. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
Point taken on this Thursday edition. Let's get right to it. Got a guest in studio. Kristin,
Benny
take it from
Benedict,
here.
who's the Director of Emergency Disaster Services at the Salvation Army. So we got introduced mostly in the wake of the floods, which was crazy to think it's almost a month since it happened. But talking about at first how much need there was to be able to fill the need for the emergency kits. You said they're kind of past that. So what is the update a month out as far as where people are, what the need is?
Well, we've done our preliminary damage assessment, and we were trying to see how, when the storm hits, is like, how bad is this? How many people are affected? And the numbers kept growing, and it's really substantial.
Set the scene for people, because you were telling us during the break, this is significant damage to homes.
Oh, absolutely. When the storm came in, we were looking at maybe the western part of Wisconsin might be the part, but the storm stalled over Milwaukee, Waukesha, Washington counties, up to 12 to 14 inches of rain fell in a 24-hour period. That's huge, even in an agriculture setting. Mm-hmm. But in a business, in households, residentials, this caused extreme flooding. Luckily, there was not a great loss of life, but we're finding that the homes that are affected are huge. I mean, basements have been washed out.
So early on, you needed kits, cleanup kits. Now, what are you looking for?
Well, now we're moving into from our response phase into recovery. People are saying, now what do you need? And we did a multi-agency resource center. We've done a couple of those to do kind of client intakes to find out what's going on. And there's a great need. I think insurances are not covering, because this was a flood. They don't have flood insurance. And there's going to be great need for mold removal. There's going to be needing for replacement of appliances that aren't covered. Cars were washed, and there's a lot of people who are needing transportation.
I want to make sure we do this a couple of times. How can folks find out a way to help? Website, what is it?
Yeah, we got a Facebook page that's, I can make sure that you have the link that they can find it. It's under Wisconsin Emergency Management, Salvation Army, Wisconsin Emergency Disaster Services.
And I can tell people as a former elected official in Oak Creek and as a citizen of Oak Creek, I've worked closely with the Salvation Army in Oak Creek on some of these types of events, and you guys do unbelievable work in the communities across this state, in this country. And this is a noble effort. It's a significant. I was listening to Morning News. They were talking about the folks that had the basement damage, stuff still stacked in front of their house a month later. That's how significant this is. Those of us who didn't have that, we just kind of moved on. This is a serious problem, and people should still want to help.
Well, because we were talking about the numbers as far as people who are really unhoused right now because they can't live in their house.
Absolutely. Close to 1,900.
Wow.
I would think. I mean,
And
because
so where
of
are they?
major
Where
damage
are
or
they
destroyed.
being lodged right now?
I think probably with friends, family.
Okay.
I know there's about 50 of them still staying in a Red Cross shelter, and the numbers are actually growing because they can't take it anymore. This is not getting better for a lot of people.
When you do this kind of work, and you guys are so good at it, as I said before, what are the stories that they tell you when you go there? Like, what are they saying? Because I've been in a flooded basement situation. I had a foot of water in my basement in 2000. You never want to walk into that. There's things that you just don't think about, and that you have to be hearing these stories.
Oh, absolutely. And they pull at your heartstrings. And we have great chaplains in Salvation Army that are hearing these stories, that are providing emotional, spiritual care. One story from yesterday was a lady who just had got her father back from the ER who was on oxygen to come home with no power. And her oxygen was running low. So she says, she goes, well, my washer and dryers were floating around. And I'm thinking, I'm losing my house. I got to make a decision whether I save my father or do I save my house. And she really had to get that out. And she spent quite a bit of time with, our chaplains. And it's just other stories. People are lost. Disasters don't discriminate. They don't care what you got going on.
How long have you done this kind of work?
Going on 10 years. 10 years.
And why do you do it?
Well, I got my hometown in Illinois in 2013 got hit by an F4 tornado.
Oh,
wow.
What town?
Washington, Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
Right before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And I was in California. It's a great place to be. There's a tornado all around. My sister's house was destroyed. I had no prior experience. I walked into a church outside town thinking, well, I'll help. And I never knew it would lead to a career.
Doing this.
Is
this the worst one you've seen since having this job?
It's in Wisconsin, yeah. I've been here in Wisconsin 3 years. I'm the director. I have 84 counties that I cover in Wisconsin, Upper Michigan, so it's a lot. We're always looking for volunteers, too.
Okay.
Support. That's what we're looking for. People to tell our story. We need to share our story more often on what people do.
Salvation Army's Emergency Disaster Services team, Benny Benedict, thanks for the great work. And they can find all your information on your Facebook page. What was the search for that? How would they search it?
It's I think it's under WUM EDS. I think is a great shortcut.
And we'll try to put it on our social media as well, because we always link our interviews to our social media accounts. Thank you for the work you do.
Oh, thank you guys for helping.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for your time.
All right, we'll wrap it up on Point Taken after this on 620 WTMJ.
When it rains, it pours. But sometimes it hails. Or worse.
That tornado warning again is for Fond du Lac and Dodge County. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now.
Keep us within reach for Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts.
Even if a tornado does not touch down, we know that there are powerful straight line winds.
On 620 WTMJ and WTMJ.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for QC Kinetics. You got nagging joint pain. I had an elbow that was just ridiculous. I could barely open and close my arm. Now, no pain at rest. Very, very slight pain. I've had 3 treatments of 5. My 4th one is this afternoon with the great team at QC Kinetics here in Milwaukee. Dr. Ashley Cabrelli and her great team, Stephanie, I'll see you this afternoon. They use regenerative medicine. No surgery, no meds, advanced cellular treatments. And I tell you, I swear by it, it works. It helps your body heal itself and restore the damage. I can do so much more with my elbow than I used to. It doesn't hurt to open a door with my left hand now. No cutting, no meds, just restorative therapy. All right, so here's what you can do. You can bring your MRIs and X-rays if you have them for your previous injuries. Worst case, you'll figure out something about yourself. Best case, you'll be a good candidate for QC Kinetics. Do what I did. Contact them today. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time AccuNet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick Acunet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
As a fellow veteran, we understand what it means to serve on a team. A suicide on a team is devastating and a real risk for veterans. If you or someone you know is struggling, reach out now. Reach out WIS.org for local resources available to you and your loved ones.
Paid for by Advancing a Healthier Wisconsin Endowment with support by the Medical College of Wisconsin, the War Memorial Center, and reachoutwis.org.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
It's always amazing to me, like, I love the texters because they actually provide great insight, but apparently didn't like the levity that I introduced to our street takeover conversation. I obviously was having fun with it. I'm not advocating for sliming people. No. It's like, come on, people.
Speaking of some levity as far as the flood situation, there is not a lot of levity, especially for the people who are homeless right now and just have lost so much. But I was at my cousin's wedding last weekend, and I found out, so my family that lives in Milwaukee, my aunt and uncle, it's their house, and then my cousin and her husband, and now they have 2 kids. They just had their second baby. They all live in the same house in Milwaukee. And her husband, Dustin, is from North Dakota, and apparently flooding happens a lot in North Dakota. So the house there was the beginning of water coming into the basement. And literally my cousin is supposed to get induced the next day to have her baby. So Dustin, her husband, as soon as think that there's any sign of flooding in the basement, immediately runs out at 12:30 at night and starts digging a trench around the house, because apparently that's what they do in North Dakota to keep basements from flooding, because it creates a little moat for the water to go into. So my pregnant cousin, who's about to give birth, is out there, I guess at midnight, holding an umbrella while Dustin's just instinctively digging a ditch, and it worked.
I suppose.
So I was like, good on Dustin. The next day they wouldn't have had a baby.
All right, real quick, because I know you want to make sure people know about this. The big event tonight.
Big event tonight at New Fashioned, talking to the Journal-Sentinel Packers coverage team. If you text Packers to 855-616-1620, we will send you the link to RSVP. Should be a fun event from 5 to 7. Steve might be there. I will be there. All things Packers, if you are excited for this weekend.
And you can ask questions.
Yes.
Which is very cool.
Yes.
One thing we don't do enough, you can actually watch our show on YouTube.
You can watch our show. There's also, we have a new podcast out today.
Yeah, you need to listen. I'll warn you, this is not PG-13. This is for mature audiences only, but we had fun with it. It was sort of a dark day last week, and we just kind of unleashed on a topic.
We went
which
off
I
the rails.
wasn't aware. Yeah, Shrekking, which was not something I was aware of until you brought it to my attention.
Well, yeah, so apparently Shrekking is a new dating term that we had some fun with, as far as just the superficiality of modern dating and modern dating trends.
Yeah.
But we got pretty goofy with it. And so if you would like to listen to that episode, text LISTEN to 855-616-1620, and we'll send you the link.
And our last one blew up, so this will be popular as well. And John Hamm makes an appearance, sort of.
Sort of.
And I caution, do not listen to it with your kiddos in the car.
Or if you're easily offended.
It's not PG-13. All right, news is next on 620 WTMJ.
There's a lot of noise coming out of Washington these days, but one thing retirees in Wisconsin can't afford to ignore is the new Big Beautiful Bill. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the truth. The changes buried in this bill could have a serious impact on your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we've dug into the details, and we want to make sure you know what's really at stake. The Big Beautiful Bill includes sweeping updates to tax brackets, Social Security thresholds, Medicare premiums, and retirement account rules. And for many retirees, it could mean higher taxes on your savings, more limits on deductions, and unexpected changes to your income plan. Maybe you're already retired, or maybe you're just a few years away. Either way, what you don't know could cost you thousands. That's why we're offering Wisconsin residents a free educational guide to help you understand how the new bill may impact retirees and questions